Well. Looks like I'm back again. Welcome to the Wraparound. I'm your host, Mike Laro. Guys, we got a football game to talk about for the first time since mid-February when the Eagles hoisted the Lombardi Trophy. That's right. The Birds played a game last night against those fighting Cincinnati Joe Burrows. That's right. Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals came to town last night and got a chance to match up with our Eagles. Of course, none of our starters played on offense or defense. There was a lot of guys sitting last night. But I will say this. I was very, very impressed, even though it was against the second and third team defense, what Joe Burrow was able to do. He threw for 123 yards, had 2 touchdowns. Jamar Chase had 77 yards in a quarter. And he totally abused Keely Ringo yesterday. Keely Ringo did not make any good viewpoints for him to take over the starting cornerback slot. I guess they're going to have to. And the same thing with Adoree Jackson. I thought Adoree Jackson looked slow last night. Again, too, and I'm going to keep it both with these guys. I think they played a very vanilla defense last night again. So I don't think they didn't really scheme up a defense for these guys. So you kind of got to take it with a grain of salt. It's just these guys getting work in on the front side of the defensive side of the ball. I will say this. As far as Philadelphia goes in this Eagles team, the Eagles, they found some players last night. And, I'll tell you what, the 2 guys that really stood out to me last night, catching the ball was Johnny Wilson and Darius Cooper. Darius Cooper, to me, holy cow, man. This guy is really, really trying to make this team. He did get a touchdown in the game last night. 6 catches for 82 yards last night. And also, Johnny Wilson only had 3 catches, but he had 73 yards. Okay, catching. So, to me, I want to see more from a couple other guys. This Cooper kid's really kind of taking the wide receiver thing by storm. I will say this. I want to see more from, Anaya Smith. This is your second year now with this team. I want to see more from him. I'll tell you what. It was good to see Jahan Dotson making some catches early on. He had 2 catches for 27 yards. I think his understanding and working with Jalen Hurts, you're going to see, I think, a more productive year out of him. It was good to see the Eagles kind of stick it to the NFL last night on their very first possession. What did they do? They do the tush push with Tanner McKee. I thought that was awesome. It was best way to rub it in. But yeah, we're going to click it over to you guys now. Let me see what your comments are. Euro Cherry saying, Euro Cherry. It says, I got here incredibly fast. Oh, I'm glad you did, buddy. He says, hey there. Joe Hale says Tanner McKee looked good. He did. Tanner McKee was looking really, really good. So here we go. It says, Ricky says, go Eagles. This kid right here, this is going to be the jersey I get. Ty Robinson. That's right. The Vanilla Gorilla. That's his nickname, believe it or not. This is a nickname that's been going around about him. The Vanilla Gorilla. That will be my jersey for this year. Okay? That will be my jersey for this year. Will be Ty Robinson's Vanilla Gorilla. It says here, this and Paulie Mack are basically my only in-depth exposure to 4 big league games. Oh, all right, Euro. This says Ricky is watching. Ricky, thank you for watching. Mickey Delaney says he's saying hello to Cherry. Them two are having an offline conversation. It says when AJ Dillon is healthy. He's a good running back. Yes, he is. A.J. Dillon reminds me of a Brandon Jacobs type running back, which if you have Saquon Barkley pounding you and he's at 230 pounds, what do you think is going to happen when A.J. Dillon, who's at 250 pounds, gets behind this offensive line and starts beating you up even more? Yeah, the Eagles are going to play bully ball this year. And they're going to have to, really, kind of, if you're really looking at their schedule for this year. Their schedule is really, really rough. They got a couple stretches in there. We'll go over the schedule again just to kind of throw it out there and have you guys take a look. I do have some concerns about this other quarterback. And the thing that kind of got me was with this, I'm a little concerned about how long they let Tanner McKee play for. I thought maybe by halftime they should have pulled him. And you give Dorian Green-Thompson the third quarter. You give Kyle McCord the fourth quarter. And then you switch them to the following week. If you're not going to play Hurts in any of these games, start pulling McKee out a little more. At that time, he had put up 27 points. He finished 20 of 25. So, he missed he had 5 incompletions all game. Also threw for 2 touchdowns. So, again, I liked what I saw out of Will Shipley. I thought he showed great explosiveness on that 20-some yard run. I thought A.J. Dillon showed some, not explosiveness, but he was, he was dragging people. Was it Powell? Sean Derek Powell? He had 6 rushes for 32 yards and a touchdown. If you look at these averages for the Eagles yesterday, just the running backs, Shipley was averaging 6.86 yards a carry. Powell was averaging 5.3 yards a carry. A.J. Dillon was at 5.4. That's a long day, man. And I'm sorry, the Bengals, they got a great offense, with Burrow and Sidney Brown's brother, and then you got Jamar Chase, and I'm trying to think of the other wide receiver that was on their team yesterday. Where's he at? Jamar Chase. Oh, T. Higgins. That's who I was thinking of. Yeah, T. Higgins, Jamar Chase, and I'll tell you what, I like Chase Brown. I think Chase Brown's a really good running back. But Chase Brown was averaging 4.6 yards a carry yesterday, too. Like, it looked like he was kind of doing his thing. Now, Joe Burrow's Joe Burrow. And, he's a good quarterback. And, I think that offensive line for Cincinnati is a little better than it was a year ago. Like, the only sack that they gave up in the game really was to the Vanilla Gorilla. So for me, I'm taking it what I've seen out of this game. I think you'll see the starters go just a little more this time around when they play Cleveland in about a week. And I think they have practices coming up with Cleveland. So it's going to be interesting to see how that goes about. So what is your take right now on the this Eagles team? Joe Hale says, what would be cool if the host did a fantasy football with the fans? I don't know about that. That's something that maybe you guys don't. I don't like doing fantasy football anymore, man. I stopped doing fantasy football years ago. The old the FanDuel thing kind of killed that for me. I always had a hard time believing in doing when you pick players to have good games and stuff like that. It was always weird. I remember we used to do I used to do the Sunday night games a lot, and there would always be some dude that would have his best player would be some friggin' kicker, and the kicker would be one of those guys that would hit maybe 1, maybe 2 field goals a game, and the guy would hit 6 that night. And then you would have 30 people that would have the kicker. So I never kind of truly believe. I always thought that was they did that computer generated and kind of beat people out of money. Like they gave people some money, but I don't think I've ever met anybody that's hit a crazy amount of money, like the $1 million week or whatever. Like I matter of fact, I haven't even like seen anybody win like the $100,000 off of FanDuel when they were doing the players, when you were picking the players. I mean, it was kind of cool to do it, but again, you would, or it would be the classic case. Say you picked Mike Evans, you would pick Mike Evans and have Baker Mayfield as your quarterback, and you're like, yeah, I'm going to double up there, and then Chris Godwin would go off. So it was always something. And then you would find out like 10,000 people had Chris Godwin. You know what I mean? And you didn't have it. So, but again, yeah, Joe, if you want to, I would say bring it up to Matty, see what he says. Maybe he might do one. I don't know. I mean, if they do one on like Yahoo or something like that, or or ESPN or something like that, I might do it. If it's everybody doing it, but if not, like I said, that kind of. Matter of fact, I kind of stepped away from the whole like gambling betting thing for like the last 2 years anyway. So, but getting back on this. This Eagles game last night, to me, it was kind of a tale of two teams. It was Cincinnati trying to get their offense right because they know they're going to have to outscore anybody, because what Tanner McKee was carving up yesterday was the Bengals starting offense. Starting defense. That was their starting defense. At least that's how they admitted it on the telecast, that he was pretty much carving up. Tanner McKee was carving up their defense. So if Tanner McKee was doing that, I can only imagine, what's going to happen, opening, during the football season for Cincinnati. Cincinnati's going to be, they're going to have to outshoot people to beat them. Thoughts on the number 3 quarterback? To be honest with you, Joe, our number 3 quarterback is, I think Kyle McCord's going to beat out Dorian Thompson-Robinson. I think Thompson-Robinson will get cut, or Howie will find a way to get a late round pick for him and move him somewhere else. I think they drafted Kyle McCord to kind of keep him here. I'm going to be honest with you. I think right now, McKee and Thompson are probably, you're going to be your guys that are going to get moved. I don't think Tanner McKee is going to get moved this year, but I think as McCord progresses to the NFL, I think Kyle McCord's going to move up. Like, that's your quarterback in the future right there. He's going to take over for Jalen Hurts. And if you watch them play ball, the kid was good. He was good at Ohio State. He was even better at Syracuse. And, he's a local kid. He went to St. Joe's Prep. So, he's a local kid. And, I'm pretty sure he's living his dream right now, just like Kenny Pickett was a year ago, living his dream playing on this Eagles team. But, I mean, if you're looking at it, like I said, man, last night, it was pretty wicked. As the Birds, like I said, they went 34-17 last night. And, think about that for a second, man. Like, your backups put up 34 points in a preseason game. Like, holy cow, man. Like, that's, whew. I do have some scores to give you from tonight. It was the Lions beating the Falcons 17-10. It was the Cleveland Browns 30-10 over the Carolina Panthers, and New England, the Patriots, blew out the Commanders tonight, beat them by 30, 48-18. That was something else to see that. I saw that score. I mean, even in preseason, like you get a 50 burger hung up on you there, man. Holy cow. Oh, you get a 50 burger hung up on you in a preseason game. Good luck with that. Games scheduled for tomorrow. If you're looking at it, early game. We do have a Saturday matinee game tomorrow. You have the New York Giants visiting the Buffalo Bills up in Orchard Park, 4:00. And I believe these games are the 1:00 game is on NFL Network. So is the 4:00 game, which is Houston at Minnesota. That will be on NFL Network. Other games tomorrow: Pittsburgh at Jacksonville, Dallas at the Rams, Tennessee at Tampa. 8. These are all between. I'm sorry. The Pitt Jacksonville games at 7. Dallas and the Raiders are at 7. 7:30 is Tennessee and Tampa. 8:00, Kansas City goes to Arizona. And at 8 p.m., it is the New York Jets traveling to Green Bay to take on the Packers. That game will be on NFL Network. And then the last game of the evening is Denver at San Francisco. And then you have 2 Sunday games also on NFL Network. 1 p.m., it is the Miami Dolphins at the Chicago Bears. And then it is the New Orleans Saints traveling out to L.A. to take on the Chargers. Both of those games Sunday on the NFL Network. And that will conclude week 1 of the NFL preseason. So Ricky is doing ESPN fantasy football. All right, Ricky, way to go. Joe Hale says, at least the Eagles came out somewhat healthy. Well, I mean, Joe, they really didn't play anybody. I know Sidney Brown got banged up. And also look for the Birds. I think they make it official this week. I think they do go out and sign Justin Simmons to bring in here to play safety. Considering what they want to do with Cooper DeJean right now, I would look for that to happen. And I know some people were talking about, about Justin Simmons, like, well, if he wasn't cooked, how come nobody signed him? To me, I think he's played long enough in his career now. He can pick and choose where he wants to go. Von Miller does it every year. Von Miller moves from team to team to team every year to try. He's chasing the ring. So, he said, Mickey said, I heard the Lion game was called because one of the Lions got neck injury. You might want to check that out, Mike. You know what, Mickey? I was watching the score of that game, and there was like 14 minutes or something left to go in the game, and it stayed at 14:30 or 14, like around 14 minutes. It stayed there for a very long time, and then all of a sudden it just went final. So I thought maybe the NFL Network was lagging on that. I haven't had a chance to watch and see what had happened in that game. So, if that's what happened, I wouldn't doubt it that they did kind of cut it short. So, but yeah, looking at that was pretty rough, man. If they called that game, but you never know. So if they called the game, they called the game. There's nothing you can really do about it. If they called it, it's preseason. So all it is a glorified scrimmage. So, it's just something for owners to make money off of. And, I know here in Philly, they charge, what is it? I don't even think they're not even full price of regular tickets. So I think regular tickets are around like $80 now for the Birds. Like if you can get them at face value, face value is like $80. So, I think preseason games are probably like half of that. They're probably like $40-$50, I think, to go to a game. And besides, you only play they only play 1 or 2 preseason games now a year. So at least, if you're a Birds fan, you get to go down there Saturday. It's going to be, you should be able to go down there, check it out, and you might want to go. And the reason why I say that is future in the past, I went in 2018 to a preseason game, and you can literally go back and buy all your Super Bowl merch down there at a really, really like discounted price. So, I mean, I would go pick up some tickets. Go on a secondhand thing, pick up 2 tickets for Saturday, for next Saturday's game, and go down there. You'll be able to go down, probably get a whole ton of merch. I know I went to the open practice in 2018, did the same thing, bought a whole bunch of stuff. When I went back for the preseason game, they were literally getting rid of it. I mean, I was buying T-shirts, hats, you name it. Anything that had to do with Super Bowl and the Eagles from 2017, I was able to grab right then and there because they were just offloading it. So, but Mickey, I will definitely check that out. I'm going to check that out and see what happened with that, because to me, that would have been weird, like to just call it like that. You know what I mean? So it says it's weird that the Eagles have two home. Well, Joe, they alternate. Last year they had two road games last year, which I felt was kind of weird considering they were giving them a home game and they had to go to Brazil to play. So, well, I live in Washington State. Oh my God, you're hanging out with us all the way from Washington, Mickey. All right. Well, it should be like what, like around 9:00 your time out there. Your night's still young. So, guys, we went over this thing with the Phillies already. In case you're just tuning in, Phillies did win 9-1 earlier tonight over the Texas Rangers. I'm going to be remiss to come and say that I wanted to talk majority of this show tonight about the Birds, but just giving you a little heads up. Trey Turner, 2 for 4 tonight with 5 runs batted in. Big hit was a 3-run blast in the ninth. Phillies scored 5 runs in the ninth to put the Rangers away. Tomorrow night, national TV game. It looks like the Phillies have been on national TV a lot lately. Again, they will be live in front of the nation tomorrow on Fox. It'll be Jacob deGrom against Jesus Luzardo. Hopefully, Jesus can go out and give us a good performance as he gets to go up against one of the league's best pitchers. Jacob deGrom's been having a really, really good year for the Rangers. As a matter of fact, there was some talk that they might be trying to get him to trade him back to the Mets. At least I know a lot of Mets fans wanted him. And another good news on the Phillies front with that, the Mets lose in Milwaukee tonight 3-2. So now the Phillies are now 3.5 up on the Mets as the Mets continue to struggle. And I feel bad for our buddy Pudgy Mike. He's part of the Pudgy Sports Network. If you guys are on TikTok, give him a follow. He does a really good job with the New York sports scene. He said, thoughts on the Embiid rumors? You're going to have to educate me on this one, Joe. Is there trade rumors with Joel Embiid? Because if that's what the rumors are, I will drive him to the airport. I've been wanting him going for 3-4 years now. So the Sixers will never win with him. And if you take a look, and just as my brief commentary on the Sixers, when they stop trying to bring all you got to do is look at the ownership group. What is the difference between the Sixers and the Washington Commanders? The Washington Commanders they just did a Josh Harris special right there. They did a Josh Harris special. They went out and got all these older players to bring them in. Your Vaughn Millers, your Deebo Samuels. Joe said he's thinking about retirement. Well, maybe he should. Maybe he should. Maybe you can get that contract of his off of the Sixers books. Maybe he should retire. He should do the Sixers a solid. He should retire, fill out the paperwork, and then that Sixers can get that money back and go get somebody in here who wants to play ball. You know what I mean? I feel bad because I wanted to see him do well, but you could just see it, man. He's never going to win here. Everything's changed with this organization but Joel Embiid. I don't feel bad for the guy. I really don't. They got his best chance to win is when he had Jimmy Butler. Well, now maybe he can sit back and watch Jimmy win the rest of his games. Guys. All right, guys. Sunday nights, Sunday through Thursday, 10 p.m. That's right, 10 p.m. right here on the It's a Wrap Sports Network. The one and only. That's right, the Godfather, Matty B. He will be live with you guys every Sunday through Thursday on The Final Word. And my favorite part of the show, this day in Philadelphia sports history, make sure you guys tune in for that, as Matty will have you covered and his thoughts on the world of Philadelphia sports. So make sure you tune in for that. Every Thursday night at 9 o'clock, Pat and Steve, they get you covering the MLS and the Philadelphia Union. That's right. The league best Philadelphia Union is the Union League, the MLS right now. Make sure you check those boys out. And every Friday, 10:30, it's usually Pat, but I'm covering for Pat until he can figure out his Siberian Wi-Fi issues. So Pat will be rejoining us hopefully soon. Again, Sunday mornings, it's me, Pat, and Al. Al is never pictured here. He's like the redheaded stepchild we all love. And speaking of redheaded stepchild, if you look on the Fighting's final lineup, you will see that it was Al supposed to be tonight. Well, me and Al pulled a switch. So I've been away for the last couple weeks, so I wanted to spend time with the wife before she made me sleep on the curb outside. So I made sure I switched with Al, and Al was gracious enough to accommodate me, so I'm not homeless. So I took you guys tonight. I will be joining you guys tomorrow after the game in Arlington tomorrow. And guess what, guys? That's right. End of the month, Birds Blast is back with Kyle Quinn. And of course, him and Maddie will be talking birds, and that will premiere Thursday, August 28th at 7 o'clock. So make sure you guys tune in for that. And also, that's right, next Sunday after the Birds game, guess what, guys? Here you see it. The Birds Flyby with Steve Fuentes and a host of others that will be on that show. So make sure you guys tune in. We have you covered. If it is a post game, you can bet it's a wrap. We'll be doing it. This is our fourth year doing the Fighting's final. Matty B, got to give him his credit. First year of the Fighting's final, he did all 162 by himself. He finally asked for help during the postseason. But yeah, he did all 162 by himself the first year. I was gracious enough to be asked to join since year 2, and I've been loving it ever since. Also, clear the ice. Again, Matty B did the first 82 by himself. And again, Matty does a really, really good job, especially when it comes to the prospect pools for both Major League Baseball and hockey. Matty really, really gets the job done there. So, again, don't forget, guys, the Happy Valley Huddle. You will be seeing that logo coming up really, really soon. So we're going to start getting ready to promote that soon. End of the month, first game, you will get your Penn State post-game show. It will be hosted by yours truly. And end of literally at the end of the month here, I will be bringing in my Shillelaghs and Shenanigans show. That's right. I'm looking around the 27th, which is a Wednesday. I'm looking to bring that on air. It is a betting show. Kind of looking, what's your favorite prop bets if you were to place, put some shillings on something. So take a look for that. Also, we also have more content as well coming. He says, "How's Pat? Tell him we miss him if you talk to him." I've talked to Pat actually just a couple of days ago. Was actually talking with him. So he's trying to get his situation fixed, and he's hoping to get back into the game real soon. So just keep a lookout for Pat, guys. All right. That's all going to be for tonight because this dude is tired, and we covered what we needed to cover with. Thank you guys for tuning in. Don't forget, you got Big Al tomorrow on the Fighting's Final. You have me and Al Sunday morning for P&M and the AM, so make sure you guys are up and available. Eagles 34-27 winners over the Cincinnati Bengals. Phillies 9-1 winners over those Texas Rangers. Good start to the weekend here in Philadelphia. If you're a Philadelphia sports fan, one last one. Says, great show, Joe. Thank you so much. Thank you for everybody who tuned in tonight. It's a late night. But enjoy your Friday. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, guys. And I will see you guys Sunday morning. Have a good one.